final time this season in the 5 Club Racing MX5 Cup, sponsored by Massimo Tyres. The red lights go on and they go out. Away they go then, and let's see how much grip there is out there for these competitors. It's a voyage of discovery for them. It's Jake Micklewright on pole in the white car. It's Ben Short trying to take out all of the bollards on the way up to Redgate Corner. Only took out one as he tries to make up moves around the outside, but it looked like Oak Richardson might have made a better start than Jordan Johnson in their battle for the positions, but now Oak Richardson I think has gone wide on the first corner, and maybe Johnson's got back ahead. Let's have a look where they are. Yes, Johnson is about 6th, and I think Richardson might be about 10th at the moment. Heading down towards the Old Hairpin for the first time, it is still Jake Micklewright leading.
Ben Short's 4th from 10th already, despite having an interesting line up towards Redgate as he tried to find space. Those around him, you can see the rain spots on the lens. It's free abreast for the lead. Tom Holland looks up the inside of Micklewright. To the outside comes Sam Gormer. Well, Jake Micklewright's not going to let anybody come past at this rate. It's raining quite heavily at McLean's all of a sudden on the way up towards Coppice, but Jake Micklewright defending. He'd like to keep in front if he possibly can. There's Johnson. There's loads of cars between him and Richardson as the rain is coming down much heavier than it was about 5 seconds ago, as Tom Holland is going for the lead. So Holland leads on the way down towards the S's. Short is coming with him, as is Jordan Johnson, and Jake Micklewright's just lost a whole handful of spots, but breaks super late, and he slots into 4th position, but he's very sideways.
Yeah, I think I had a little touch from Samuel Gormer behind him as well, possibly, as they made their way through, and he's lost a lot of positions because of that. Meanwhile, there's Oak Richardson in the number 17 car. He really needs to get ahead of Jordan Johnson to stand any chance of getting ahead of him for second place in the championship, but it's BS Motorsport cars leading, and in second place it is Thomas Holland in the lead, from Ben Short in second. Third is Jordan Johnson, so that's not gone well for Oak Richardson on the opening lap, although he's clawing back some places now. He's alongside James Winstanley, that is, isn't it, in the 111 car, so he's made up some ground at the start of the race. James Winstanley, the 750 Motor Club's marketing man, but at the end of the first lap it's Holland leading, Ben Short in second, 1500ths between them, then it's Johnson, Pearce, Gormer, Richardson, Michael Pearce, James Winstanley, Scott Lawrence and Andy Bailey.
Yeah, so James Winstanley gained 5 places on that opening lap. Andy Bailey also progressing through well. See, Jake Micklewright's the one that lost out. And I believe because... Oh, big lose. Who's that?
Didn't spot who it was, right in the middle of the pack though.
Was it Winstanley, was it? It was a red car.
Oh, it could have been, I suppose. Yes, it was the right kind of colour. Look how these two have pulled away. Yeah, I think it is, because he's not there in the background now, is he? It's Holland from Short. Long gap back to Jordan Johnson in third. And then in fourth, I think it is still Shea Pearce, isn't it, in the grey car with the red detailing on it.
Owen Mills is there, but he didn't have a transponder working in the first race. It's still not working now, so I don't think he's being scored because of that. He was warned about it, and he didn't fix it.
Okay, so still these two out in front, the two teammates. Now is Ben Short going to let his customer, Thomas Holland, do the business here and get the win. It's very frenetic behind, definite end of term atmosphere, with the rain still coming down at this part of the circuit, more so than possibly others. Yes, confirmation that Owen Mills is not being timed in this race, so just kind of ignore the 220 car because it's not really there. It's not going to be in the results of this race,
unless of course something happens and then somebody else, and it very much feels like he's in the race.
Yeah, here comes Shea Pearce. He's challenging Jordan Johnson. Oak Richardson only one place further behind, so it's not beyond the bounds of possibility that Oak Richardson could get back ahead of Jordan Johnson before this race is out. Shea Pearce there, son of Michael, who's a couple of places further back in the bright green car, is going to challenge Jordan Johnson for third place into the hairpin. And he's alongside, we're focusing on the two leaders, but it looked like it might have been Shea Pearce that had gone through to third place there. Yes, it is. The darker of the two grey cars. Shea Pearce, number 16, up to third. And now you've got the two protagonists for second in the championship, adjacent to one another.
Yeah, that's right. What do we think the gap is between the two of them?
After drop scores, I think 4 points in favour of Johnson.
Okay, so Johnson can afford to fall behind Richardson. Whoa, that got tight. We survived, still sideways, Sam Gormer, but we survived any contact in all of that. So it's Holland and Short, Pearce and third now, and then but Richardson is going past Johnson. He's up into fourth. Johnson not enjoying the wet conditions so much. Last year's champion, I think he's won a race, has he, Jordan Johnson, which is a bit unusual, I guess. There's people taking liberties with the track, potentially, because there's not much grip and you're probably not gaining anything from being out there. I think that was Owen Mills, so you could get a penalty for a race you don't get scored in. Anyway.
How can you have 5 seconds added to your time?
Down to the old hairpin. Jordan Johnson might fall into the clutches of other cars here, Ian. Luckily for him, the next car doesn't matter.
Yeah, which is interesting. But the one behind that does matter, which is Sam Gorman, the 128 car. Here are the 2 leaders, though. Thomas Holland, 2:30. Ben Short, number 71. The 2 leaders. They're lapping in the 2-minute 8s. That's the best lap for Thomas Holland so far. What did they do in the first race? There's an interesting question to ask. It was 2-minute 10, so they're a little bit faster, and possibly the track just has not got as wet yet as it was in the first race. Big moment for Richardson. He's ahead, though, of Johnson now.
I was watching the one in the background in the gravel.
Okay, well, nevertheless. So, yes, big moment for Richardson. Still ahead of Johnson. And then there's the car that is not being scored. But for the lead, it is still 2:30 Thomas Holland in the BS Motorsport car, ahead of the BS Motorsport boss, Ben Short, in second.
Was there a car in the gravel?
Yeah, it looked like there was. So I don't know if there's anyone missing from the timing screen. Possibly Andy Bailey, yes, who didn't come through at the end of the previous lap. The man behind Mint Alloys, the sponsor of this stream. There it is. There's the confirmation that it's up to its axles in the gravel, pretty much.
Shea Pearce is catching the top 2, is he not? He was 3 seconds behind at the start of the lap. It was 26. Is that Izzy Burrows?
Yes.
McLean's, I think that is, on the exit. She's gone for a spin.
Yeah, so right onto the infield there, and she's going to get back out into the race, I think. So she rejoins, but obviously right at the back of the field now, somewhat on her own. As the top 2 leaders are almost nose to tail over the line. Ben Short in the number 71 car, chasing after Thomas Holland, 2:30. Did Shea Pearce close on them that time? Yes, he did, by about 1.4 seconds as well. Further back, Jordan Johnson in danger of losing a place here to Samuel Gorman. This could be important for the championship, because there is a whole gang of cars queued up behind Jordan Johnson. He really can't afford to make a mistake. Gorman now ahead of the 220 car. And then it's Michael Pearce next up. That 220 car might lose another position here to Michael Pearce before very much longer. But yeah, Jordan Johnson not in a particularly comfortable position here.
No, that's right. It's not enjoying this tricky track surface we've got at the moment, it seems. But perhaps getting the hurry up with a load of cars behind him. Johnson has had 6 seconds this year, looking to win the non-Ben Short class in the championship in that battle against Oak Richardson. It's all very busy behind him. It feels like it's pretty foul up at Coppice, doesn't it, with the wind and the rain battering our camera operator.
Looks like one of those videos we saw from Florida the other day when the hurricane passed through. It has that kind of feel about it.
Perhaps that BBC forecast in the week was right.
Maybe it was, with 1,000-mile-an-hour winds or whatever it's supposed to have. Anyway, it's the 3 of them together now. Shea Pearce right with Thomas Holland and Ben Short as they make their way through the right and left of the Fogarty S's and head down to the Melbourne hairpin for lap number 4. There's still 6 minutes and 50 seconds of the race left to go. So we're into the second half of the race as far as the times element is concerned. It's probably going to be a 7-lap race, isn't it, that we have here for the I suppose it might even be less than that.
Interestingly, David Williams in 10th is lapping quicker than the leaders, so he's going through nicely. The sim racer, who's had some good results this season. He's been on the podium a couple of times. Up towards the hairpin they come. 64, Scott Lawrence involved in this, and Shea Pearce has caught the leaders with the best lap, a 2.7, so that time's coming back down again.
Worth having a look at that if we can, because it looked like Ben Short was about to line up a move on Thomas Holland as well as they headed into Coppice Corner. We'll see if we can have a look at that. Not Coppice Corner, Redgate Corner. We'll see if we can have a look at that in a moment. It is still Thomas Holland ahead though as they head out of Redgate and down through Hollywood for the 5th time in this race. But Pearce, as you say, doing the best lap of the race, best lap of the day, 2:07.205 on the previous lap. Well outside the lap record set by Ben Short 3.5 years ago. Of course, in dry conditions, he did a 1:54.5. So out of view at the moment. Here they come up towards McLean's. These 3 right together. Oak Richardson still 4th. I think Jordan Johnson's still in 5th, which is important for him as far as second in the championship is concerned. Through the right-hander now. Ben Short 15 times a winner this season. Thomas Holland's only done occasional races, but has had now, I think, 3 podiums in the races that he has done this season. including the result earlier on. No, he wasn't on the podium earlier on today, was he? Correct myself. So he's only had the 2 podiums so far this season.
Shay Pearce is the star of the day, isn't he? Because we've never seen him really at the front of the field until earlier, where he got his first podium in the 5 Club Championship, and now he's the fastest man in these conditions. He's caught the top 2, but not made an impression on them as such on this lap. Ben Short equally hasn't sort of hurried him up to get past Tom Holland, has he? He stayed there in second for now.
Indeed, climbing up the hill with 4.5 minutes to go, so it's going to be touch and go, isn't it? Whether they get 2 or 3 more laps, possibly only 2 as they come up and across the line this time. There was 3/4 of a second covering the first 3 on the previous lap. It's just gone out by a 10th.
The lap time just got 5 seconds quicker on that lap. We went from a 7 to a 2, and Jordan Johnson set the quickest.
Well, I was just thinking, some parts of the circuit, it's actually looking relatively dry. And it's only up at the top of the circuit where it really looks truly horrible, isn't it? So
I think that's more wind now than anything.
Yeah, so maybe the circuit really is drying quite quickly now. The sun has sort of emerged again, so fantastic. And Jordan Johnson's now done the best lap of the race at 2:02.232. He's still there in 5th position, but he took 1.4 seconds out of Oak Richards on that lap to get it down to less than a second. Here they are.
Yeah, so these better conditions have urged on Jordan Johnson. What was the record time?
1:54.5.
It's a little way away from that, but much better than just the previous lap from just 2 minutes earlier. Top 3 absolute together to change for the lead. Ben Short goes through ahead of Tom Holland, who now has got Shay Pearce keen to get past. They head up the hill into the right-hander at Coppice. Yeah, I think it's just wind up there now, isn't it, rather than anything. Oh, it's getting a bit touchy-feely behind. So David Williams, who's progressing well. He's up to 7th, and he's going for 6th on Sam Gormer. But the top 3 still together. They come down towards the S's. Shay Pearce looking to the inside. That's not on for now, but Ben Short not getting away at this point.
Yeah, so through the Fogarty S's they go. Short, Holland and Shay Pearce. Jordan Johnson then with the fastest lap, that's 2:02.232.
Holland's going for the inside here. He's alongside Short. Probably best not to hit the boss.
No.
And he avoided doing that.
Yeah, there is a slower car up ahead as well, which they may well lap.
Oh, Pearce darts to the inside of Holland, who blocks him. And Pearce just bumped into the back of him. That was sort of a British GT block, wasn't it? Somebody looked you up the inside.
Let's see what lap times they do here. A 2 minute dead now. 2 minute 0:0360 for Ben Short. As they go past that slow car, it's going to be side by side for second. Now Richardson and Jordan Johnson, they take their turns to do the best laps of the race. So another 2 seconds found that lap. The track is improving in conditions very quickly indeed. Probably the drivers for the next race ought to be watching this.
And he's done it round the outside. Shay Pearce goes second. Of course, is it Bike Sports next, which have a tyre choice as well, so even more important. So that new aimshop.com fastest lap with Jordan Johnson. He's still behind Oak Richardson though, but they'll be scoring equal points, so that's all good for second in the championship for Johnson. But it's all about really this race win, and can Shay Pearce get there? And they should get another extra lap in with the extra pace that they've shown in recent laps.
Yeah, well that's the interesting thing. It looked like it was going to be a 7-lap race, but now they almost had like 15 seconds to spare, I think, because they came across the line to be able to do that, or even 20 seconds possibly at the speed they're now doing. So probably going to be an 8-lap race.
And can Shay Pearce beat Ben Short? Because he's not let him get away, despite having to get past Tom Holland. As Windy Coppice they go through and head down towards the S's. Pearce now having to defend for second, though, because Holland is fighting back. Holland hadn't had the pace on the previous laps, but all of a sudden he's found it, and he's back into second, round the outside into the S's, hops up over the curbs. He was on the podium here earlier in the year in the British GT Championship in the Pro-Am class with Colin White.
Looks like Pearce is going to try and fight back. Another back marker to try and lap. We don't often see lappery, do we, in MX5 races? But that's the 63 car of Stuart Dowson that is being dealt with now. Ben Short has already gone past him. Now, let's just see. Are we going to get one more lap out of this? We should do, 'cause still 30 seconds to go as Shay Pearce goes past the back marker there. and try to get up the inside of Tom Holland. Might well get the move done on the exit of the corner here. Depends on who has most momentum. Last lap board has been prepared, so we have got one more lap to go in this race then, and it's side by side for second behind Ben Short, looking for his 16th win of the season. It is wing mirror to wing mirror. It's Shea Pearce on the outside line, Thomas Holland on the inside line for Redgate corner, and it's Holland that holds on for the moment. Again, Jordan Johnson has done the best lap of the race, and now 1:58.772, so another sort of 1.3 seconds found that time, and he's got the gap down to 0.7 of a second to Oak Richardson. You can just see them in the background there, those two vying for second place in the championship. That should go to Johnson as things stand.
And lapping quicker than the leaders, interestingly, but they lost out when it was a bit more slippy. The top three had the pace at that point, and Short's gone away now, so it's Pearce versus Holland for P2. And then the cars behind for P2 in the championship. Through the right-hander there at McLean. There's going to be another car to lap. So that'll be a third one in 3 laps. Richardson still ahead of Johnson, who looks to the inside. He might come through here into Coppice corner. And he's done it. Well, maybe. They're side by side as they go through the corner. And in the background, there is a battle. In the foreground there is a battle because Shea Pearce is running round the outside of Tom Holland, who breaks late. He knows if you're on the inside here you have the line, so Shea Pearce has to give way. He couldn't get the exit though, potentially. If they come up to the Melbourne Loop, it certainly looks like it's going to be a 16th win for Ben Short, but second is not over yet with 2 corners to go. It's Holland in front as the back marker gets out of the way. They're side by side, a battle for second in the championship. They've been battling all year, and they're going to battle to the end of the race here.
Yeah, if it stays this way, it's going to be Jordan Johnson by 4 points. Here comes Shea Pearce to try and get second place away from Thomas Holland. It's Holland on the inside line. Pearce is going to try and get the cutback on the exit of the corner, carries more speed out of it, but finds his way blocked. Ben Short is going to come up to the line and take the checker flag. 16 wins this year for him in the Massimo Tyres 5 Club MX5 Cup. Second place goes to Thomas Holland. Third place goes to Shea Pearce. Fourth place goes to Oak Richardson. Fifth place, but second in the championship, goes to Jordan Johnson. He gets the fastest lap of the race as well. Michael Pearce pulling into the pits right at the end of the race. So 6th goes to David Williams, 7th to Matt Neal, 8th to Ian Tomlinson, 9th to Samuel Gorman, and it's the pole position driver, Jake Micklewright, that completes the top 10.
Yeah, it's all quite exciting. Just watching the weather was rather interesting, wasn't it? As it changed almost as much as it could change in a day within a 15-minute race. As it got wetter, then got drier again. And we had a span of over 10 seconds in lap times just in a 15-minute race, which is quite extraordinary, really. The rest of the field coming through. And most people, I think, going to take the checkered flag. See, James Winstanley on that lap quicker than Ben Short. Well, but it all went a bit wrong when he got sideways at Redgate.
It did, and he finished, 15th in the end. But yes, a 1:59.935.
His best lap was quicker than Tom Holland, was quicker than Shea Pearce. What could have been?
Absolutely, and of course we're talking about the Cadwell Park driver of the meeting as well here, aren't we? So anything was possible, really. End of the 5 Club MX5 Cup season. It's been a great year of racing. It's been dominated by Ben Short. He's had 16 wins. Only Richardson and Matt Hallam Silverstone took wins apart from him, but it's been a very enjoyable season. Ben Short then winning round number 18 of the championship. His 16th of the season, car number 71. 8 laps he completed, and he was 1.097 seconds ahead of number 230, his teammate Thomas Holland, in second place. Third place went the way of number 16, Shea Pearce, ahead of number 17, Oak Richardson, who was fourth. Fifth went to number 1, Jordan Johnson, with that second in the championship. Sixth, number 25, David Williams. Seventh to number 21, Matt Pennefather Neal. Eighth to number 9, Ian Tomlinson. Ninth to 128, Samuel Gorman. And 32, Jake Micklewright completed the top 10, ahead of Stephen Craggs, Michael Pearce, although he finished in the pit lane, so we'll see if he's classified there in the official result. Scott Lawrence and Martin Vernon. 15th it was James Winstanley. Mary Barnard 16th, ahead of Matthew Short, Ben's father, Sam Moody, Nick Favo and Stephen Robinson rounding out the top 20. And a few, one or two non-finishes as well, as we'll see on the next page. We lost Andy Bailey early on, and we did have a couple of drivers that were lapped: Isabel Burrows, Stuart Dowson and Philip Barris as well. More MX5 Cup racing next season, no doubt. We'll look forward to that. Still 2 more races to come this afternoon, as we've now got predominantly blue skies over Donington Park once again. So we'll hopefully see Bike Sports cars on slick tyres for this one, for their 25-minute race. It is a race that includes a pit stop as well, so we have that to build into the equation. We did see tyre changes in Bike Sports at Brands Hatch, I think it was, as we went from wet to dry conditions there. We've got Bike Sports and then the 116 Sprint Trophy and the 120 Coupe Cup to round out the day's racing, with 8 more races to come tomorrow here at Donington Park. And don't forget, 750 Motor Club are in action again in a fortnight's time. That is the Burkitt 6-hour relay race on Saturday the 26th of October, and on Sunday the 27th of October we've got Championship Finals day, and that's all streamed by Alpha Live. But let's now head down to the pit lane. Matt Suckling is going to have a word with our top 3 at the end of the MX5 race.
I'm indeed in, yeah, thank you very much. Down here with a 16-time winner now, Ben Shaw. You did the job earlier with the championship and you went out in style for the end of the year.
Yeah, well, such good fun driving these cars, especially when we had that little bit of drizzle, and Tom did an absolute sterling job of feeling the grip on the road for me on the way round, so I was perfectly happy to sit behind him and let him do all the hard work for a bit. And it's great to see Shea. I mean, I think it's only his 2nd meeting this year, so lad's obviously really quick. Really quick.
Yeah, it was a great race for you. The times weren't quite there at the beginning, as we saw everyone tiptoeing about, but all of a sudden 5 seconds went off a lap time, so the grip was there then.
Yeah, I find since they resurfaced here, what was it, like 3, maybe 5 years ago, it is like a switch, it's on and off. So there was a bit of heat in the tyres, I guess, from us running round, and then all of a sudden I noticed up at the top corner coppice, track just turned and it went full dry within a lap.
What a fantastic season it's been for you, Ben. Well done.
Yeah, thank you very much. Cheers.
There we go, champion for this year, Ben Shaw. Then we move on to Tom Holland, who's having a bit of a guest drive this weekend. We saw you at Brands in British GT just a couple of weeks ago, now having a bit of fun in 2nd place.
Yeah, well, I've been doing Mazda since I started. My first ever race was with Ben Shaw's BS Motorsport back at Snetterton back in 2020. So it's something nice to come back to. I can't exactly say no to coming back, as it's what racing should be. It's a lot of fun. It's not having to worry about the price tag at the end of it. But I absolutely love this to bit, and we showed it with the racing that we had on today. It was very close between me and number 60. I'm sorry if I've forgotten your name again. But yeah, it's been a good race.
It was you leading for a little while as well, and then Ben kind of hounded you down and wasn't going to let you have the win, was he?
No, I tried taking the wins from him at Thruxton, but unfortunately he's very experienced with these cars, and I can't commend him enough for how quick he is, and he helps everyone at BS Motorsport as well. He wants the best for all of us, and I tried to give him a run for his money, but Ben Short's going to Ben Short, so we'll see how long it'll take for Tom to topple him consistently.
Great race, Tom. Well done. Congratulations on your 2nd place. And Shea back on the podium for the 2nd time today. What a great return it has been for you.
Yeah, brilliant. Had a great start. Just got my head down, pushed towards the front. Tom and Ben were battling away, and Ben was helping Tom get away. But I got towards them, had a good battle with Tom at the end, and just pipped me across the line. So no, it was good.
It was a great battle there. The conditions weren't kind to you in that one either, were they? A bit wet to start with, and then things started to dry out.
Yeah, it was very mixed, but got to deal with it. Everybody's in the same boat, so yeah, crack on.
You've enjoyed your return though, and maybe a few more next year?
We'll give it a go. Need some sponsors.
That's what we'd like to hear. Shea, well done. Congratulations to you as well for 3rd place. So there you go. That is the 5 Club MX5 Cup done for 2024. Still spots the rain in the air, so who knows what's going to happen for the next race, which is the penultimate one of the day for the Radical Bike Sports Championship.